triggering off of targeting your allies. They work together solidly, and I think as the expansion goes on, we will see more experimentation with all three of them, and perhaps some more variety coming out. But getting into the matchup, it is time to see Vayne Kaisa going up against the monster that has remained undefeated throughout the night, Zed Hecarim.
Sir, it is undefeated, and the Shark Chariot in hand. Shark Chariot is that one card that you cannot go without in your opening hand. I feel like in an ephemeral deck, it is what keeps it all together, and having it every time definitely feels great. Now on turn 2, it's gonna be a bit awkward. We could choose to play it if we want to. We could also choose to play another one of those Islanders and make it a free Shark all of a sudden. Oh, going for a free Fire Riff instead here. Potentially going for a Shark just right now. Why not? And then we can choose to play either. Oh, we can choose to play Fire Riff into the Glenkeeper and actually triggering Nightfall for it as well. That is a bustin' turn.
And that appears to be what is happening right now. Also getting the Shepherd's Authority, which is a pretty nice hit. Obviously, ephemeral decks don't really care too much about blocking because you don't usually have the units that can block for you. But getting that Glenkeeper as well, fantastic unit to be hitting off the bat. I mean, just with that Shark Chariot, you have a 4-1 swinging.
That is true, and I have to be honest with you, Chugabit. The Glenkeeper is a new card, right? And sometimes I struggle with card names of new cards. So I've made a little bit of a reminder for myself why it's called Glenkeeper, because I don't know about you, but my TikTok For You page has been absolutely blasted with those Family Guy videos where there's like a shitty mobile game running along the screen as well. And so I've been actually watching a lot of Family Guy as well, just before going to bed. So the Glenkeeper will always remind me of Glenn Quagmire, and that's exactly why I remember the name.
Well, not the reason I would have had, but there you go. Also, Senior right now was threatening 16, I think, before that Voidling came down to block the Shark Chariot. Again, you have 2 cards in your hand, but your opponent has 2 points left on their Nexus health. I think that's a fair trade. Just a strong, domineering deck that is, as long as it gets those early turns in, you have such control over the rest of the game. And yes, you can drop Vayne next turn, and you might get to Kaisa on turn 5, but are you even going to have a Nexus at that point?
Yeah, and we have, our non-ephemeral units are all surviving here, which means even if, there's a couple of attacks coming through for Lazyguga, we can block. And with another Fire Riff Strike of the Band and Zed in hand, we can just summon more ephemeral units that will get buffed by the Glenn Quagmire Keeper, and also resummon another Shark Chariot for ourselves. So yeah, the aggression is just not letting up, seemingly not letting up. And now what can we do if we're Lazyguga? We can play Valor or maybe Tumble, but none of these cards really seem that nice. I mean, I guess Valor lets us deal with Zed at the least, but then next turn we just have to strike up the Band and Fire Riff, and all of a sudden the board is wide again.
Yeah, I will say I am a little surprised to see Zed played so brazenly. Obviously, Elder is in a very strong position right now, but you've left yourself open to this exact situation where now Valor attacked into that, and you've lost your Zed. Very, very bad unit to just lose because of some brash confidence. Obviously, Zed by himself could have triggered, the level up there himself, and you could have played Strike Up the Band, get those hallowed blockers. But here comes Vayne's Condemn. Okay. There you go. I feel like I almost foreshadowed this very early in the day when we saw our first Vayne deck, and there it is, that 1-mana strike coming through to get rid of Glenkeeper. And that is an important thing to lose. That does keep you alive longer in the current game state that you're in.
Yeah, but now the Band is strucken, so we are gonna be presenting 5 white attack, well 6 white if you want to put the Islander in as well, but we did lose the buff from the Glenkeeper, as you said, so those damage numbers not gonna be as high as we initially thought. Maybe Elder Senior did go a bit, you know, digging too deep into the pod here while playing that Zed very preemptively, as you said. You know, your opponent still had the attack token, so challengers were able to come through, and we didn't really have any protection, which this deck is more designed towards, right? It's more unit-based, not a lot of spells, not a lot of answers to things, just brute forcing our way through. The second band will be conjured up here, which means that this is almost an orchestra. But with the Shark and now the Merciless Hunter coming through as well, we should be able to block a bit of it, but not all of it.
Yeah, not lethal here just yet. Again, really important that Glenkeeper went down last turn. If Glenkeeper was still up, all of those bands being struck up would be 3-1s instead of 2-1s, and as you can see, that would be perfect lethal right there. But luckily, that Condemn coming through, and as I was saying, you know, there's power in that champion spell, and yeah, it saved the game right here. Senior doesn't have anything that can go for face here, so I do kind of like Lazyguga just holding back on the Merciless Hunter, because he knows there's no threat to the face, there's no harrowing that can come out of nowhere, and you're suddenly going to need to block a lot of people, and instead he keeps his board 3 wide, and now Senior, you know, is basically gambling on Senior pulling another ephemeral unit to trigger that Shark Chariot coming back out. And the Stagehand is going to be a pretty excellent selection for that to happen, but might have to come out preemptively here to stop Kaisa from running the game over.
There she is, suited up, ready to save the universe here from this ephemeral threat. We have one blocker. She does not have... Oh, we can give her Scout and Tough. Never mind, she is a monster. I'm not sure if this... Yeah, I think we have to play the Stagehand if we want to stop her from just taking over the game this turn. But that means that we are pretty much reliant on a goated top deck. Could be a Hecarim, would be pretty good. Could be a, I guess Dragon's Ambush maybe, something like that. But we need something big here if we want to take this game, because it looks like this undefeated Hecarim Zed may look to collect its first L of the tournament, or at least of the broadcast here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this all just does come back to playing that Zed so brashly. If you had just waited or played Strike Up the Band that turn instead, you get those hallowed blockers, which means the next turn you're going to have a stronger Zed anyway, so you can wait. And obviously, Elder Senior still took that time regardless. Chose to wait and give 2 counts to Strike Up the Band, when easily Zed could have been slotted in instead, and I do think that has been the main downfall here, that Lazyguga is now looking to exploit and run away with. Blockers are gone for Elder Senior, and suddenly this game is looking a lot closer as Vayne is leveling. You have that tumble for free next turn. You need the best top deck of your life right now. Because if you don't pull that for Elder Senior, that's gonna be game.
Yeah, for sure. And what is the top deck? What are we going to get? We get Hecarim, and that is huge. She is leveled, which means we do get that. We get that Nexus effect. However,
all you need to do is tumble the. Yeah, all you need to do is tumble Kaisa, and you have to block with Hecarim, who can't block Kaisa. It's a one-sided exchange, so yeah. That one brash play of Zed becoming the downfall of Elder Senior, and Lazyguga gonna take game 1.
Yeah, take game 1 on 1 HP. I mean, we haven't had it in a minute. 1 HP, good 1 HP comeback on the Mystic Shot podcast tournament here, but it did feel very refreshing to see. Of course, technically, it was a, you know, like the 1 HP, we kind of chose to go down there. But, you know, Lazyguga was a man of the show. A man of the show biz. Definitely pulled up a wonderful game 1 here and punished the, punished where the punish window was open, right, by Elder Senior, where Elder Senior opened that window to be punished, and then Lazyguga just jumped right in. Now Senior running it back on the Ephemeral army, and Guga going to go with the Seraphine, which means that my vocal cords are warming up. I cannot wait for her to level. grand finals is upon us. Let's see. For now, the 5-Rift combo once again pulling through. We can go for, okay, Soul Shepherd here, maybe into 5-Rift. Maybe waiting with the 5-Rift once again for that Glenn Quagmire combination. So I'm not sure what the plan is, but I do like the Oblivious Islanders in this deck a lot. I feel like they open up a lot of cool angles, especially with the combination of 5-Rift.
I do think we might be about to see a run back of a situation that happened to Elder Senior earlier in this tournament. If Lazyguga uses Blade's Edge and follows up with a Flock on the Soul Shepherd, then Senior gets the opportunity to play Fireth, pull a good unit before the Flock goes down, and this is literally what happened several games ago, and Elder Senior won that game handily. So we'll see if history repeats itself here. Because, yeah, that 4-2 Fireth and a tapped-out Lazyguga, I mean, this exact situation happened, and it didn't turn out well for the opponent.
6 damage on turn 2, definitely not amazing. Also, you know, as we all say, Rafine not having any native ways of healing. Of course, there's a lot of spells that we can create that could give us that healing. The fan club president here, one of those big ones, getting potentially star shaping, right? We've seen it happen before, but no native, no 100% guarantee on heals, which means that, yeah, we're kind of stuck with our HP total at this point, and the Glenkeeper gonna be able to Nightfall it up as well, with that Sparring Student growing to a 3-3, and then with the Opposite Shark Chariot a 4-4. I mean, these swings just keep on coming, and I'm not sure if the fan club president can be, you know, strong enough to hold up against this army of attackers for now.
Yeah, I think the president has to find a very good situation here, hit some fantastic 5-cost spell that no one has taken the time to memorize yet. If not, you kind of have to rely on that high note as your one real option, potentially, although it seems like Lazyguga is going a different direction here. Might go for a Disintegrate play, perhaps, to try and remove one of the bigger units, perhaps the Sparring Student that we see currently threatening to become a 4-4. And yeah, it's a pretty good state for Elder Senior right now. Lazyguga just having passed the past few turns instead of playing anything.
Yeah, but this is kind of what we wanted here. I mean, I don't want to count out Guga just yet. Actually putting 3 stacks on the spell with the Discord, High Note, and that actually denying a lot of damage because there's no longer an ephemeral attacker, which means there is no Shark Chariot that's going to join into the attack. Only taking 5 here, but having to use a lot of spells. However, once again, you know, Guga, pretty unfavored in this matchup. And this is kind of what Elder Senior wanted to be. Triple Hecarim, ooh, definitely not what we wanted to be. But the matchup, all in all, you know, was kind of on paper. Ooh, we do get healing. We're going crazy. On paper, favored for Senior, which means that it's all going to come down to Game 3. However, with this current interesting situation here, especially with this Shark Chariot now being at least denied. But we still take a lot of damage from the Hecarim. We could even go for the Onslaught here to potentially level Hecarim as well, or at least go for a big Sparring Student.
Yeah, absolutely. You were grimacing a little bit at the triple drawn Hecarim. I was actually smiling at it. I think it's a great situation because it does let you use that Onslaught of Shadows to push further damage, and as you said, grows that Sparring Student. And worst case scenario, right, you lose your Hecarim, you still have another one in hand to back you up, so you feel a little bit more comfortable using that despite the situation you're in. And Lazyguga, kind of lacking options right now. You can go for the Rummage if you want to try and draw, but you don't have any targets that you really want to get rid of. The Mystic Shot's going to come down here to get rid of the Sparring Student before it can grow into a problem, and I do think that's the right choice. But you have this Violent Discord, which only pings for 1. You have a Withering Wail, which pings for 1 across the board. Could let you get rid of an Onslaught of Shadows, Spectral Rider, but like doesn't really help much beyond that. It's a rough hand to deal with. You want to be able to hold on to that Song Spinner for when you get your Ezreal and your Seraphine, and just no good targets to rummage away.
Yeah, but these are 2/2s, so the Whale actually. Oh yeah, Veil and Discord can, in comparison, get rid of 1 Spectral Rider, as you said. We also get rid of the Shark and the Oblivious Islander. So we actually do manage to... This Veil actually will keep us alive this turn, I'm pretty sure. But after that, as you said, things are looking tough. Rummage can help us draw, but I don't know if we want to actually discard the Song Spinner. And now we have to see. Okay, so we go... Oh, we're not even attacking with the Islander. Okay, makes sense because it is just a worse unit than a Spectral Rider. We deal with one Rider, which means we only have to take... okay, we're alive. We are alive.
Hanging on at 1, but no more like native healing or anything. Ooh, rough situation again.
And we brought this back before. Guga brought this back before. 1 HP and 1 misplay coming out from Senior could be the difference maker. We do have access to draw here, thanks to the Hellstones. Or we go just spin the wheel and go for the Song Spinner. Let's see what we get. You know, you never know what is in that word that I currently don't know. What is that thing again? You probably know. You're a native speaker.
The Song Spinner?
Yeah, like the object that it displays.
I believe it is a gramophone.
That's the word, exactly.
Though those usually don't get used as often nowadays, and yeah, now you got that Shadow Apprentice dropping on the side of Elder Senior. Ugh. Just a rough situation for Guga. I mean, you can ping it away with your Violent Discord, but then you have a Song Spinner that you can't use, a Rummage that can maybe draw you a very slight option. Guga just kind of gambled hard on getting rid of that Hecarim as a way to try and save the game, and doesn't really have any other options at the moment that feel great.
No, we can definitely Discord. We have to Discord the Shadow Apprentice, I think, because, you know, the Song Spinner we're tapped under already, and the Rummage, I don't know. Also not amazing. Maybe Rummage just the Song Spinner. Oh, actually going to Rummage both things here.
And pulls another Song Spinner at a back alley bar. Yikes.
And that's going to be game 3 here for the finals, taking us all the way. What else could it be? And imagine, game 3, grand finals, Ezreal, Seraphine, Mirror.
I do think that Twitter would be complaining about that later tonight. If not, though, we might see Vayne and Kayn come through. This deck that we've seen Elder Senior piloting very effectively, especially against that Seraphine Ezreal. So I'm curious to see what the ban was, because, you know, if it's Seraphine Ezreal, no, it is Vayne Kayn coming through. This is my dream right here. Kayn potentially coming to the forefront to try and win a grand finals.
Yeah, this could be his time to shine. I mean, I was rejoicing about Hecarim Zed, and you were rejoicing about Kayn, which is also a very cool champion. So it's gonna be exciting to see. I do want to see Seraphine level, only so I can, you know, sing the song. But besides that, yeah, I mean, it would be wonderful for Kayn to take the dub here over this Ezreal Seraphine deck, which is kind of the new villain of the meta. Now that Nami is gone, you know, there always has to be one deck that is the villain, and so far it would seem to be this one because of the insane high play rate, backed up by that even, you know, not even insane or win rate, but, you know, just a very, very good win rate with a, I think, unmatched play rate in the history of lore, it feels like. So yeah, definitely someone, you know, trying to become the main character here, and it is Elder Senior and Lazyguga, you know, playing the role of the villain tonight, and trying to, you know, let the Ezreal Seraphine win, let the deck speak for itself, and this Discord into Flock will help get rid of the Vayne.
Yeah, absolutely. Great combination to have, but beyond that, not a whole lot going on in Guga's hand. You have 2 fan club presidents, a Disintegrate and an Ezreal. Ezreal you obviously don't want to be dropping until later in the game, especially in a game where there's a Kayn lurking around every corner. And then, you know, the fan club presidents can get you a high roll, but you don't have mana banked for anything to really happen here. Elder Senior's passing priority in turn 4 does not exist this game.
There's a Song Spinner in hand now, actually being a wonderful fix to this awkward situation. I believe also the static shock letting us draw potentially, especially in the combination with disintegrate potential, killing the Kane here potentially. And yeah, I feel like right now Guga's hand is absolutely not awful. I wonder if we do play the fan club president first, just to see what we can get, or if we try to snipe the Kane. Nope, looks like the president will be sent into action. And wow, star shaping detained Celestial Wonder.
Really good lineup to choose from there. I would be taking my time at this shot. Looking over all the different items on the menu, all of these can serve fantastic in their own right. Obviously, Detain, able to get rid of a unit for a decently long time, especially if you put it on one of your better survivability units. Celestial Wonder can stuff a good attack or good blockers, and Star Shaping obviously can heal your Nexus up from the depths of infinity and give you a good blocker or two. And that is what is going to be chosen on the side of Guga here. Probably going to try and hold on to that until Seraphine can come down and duplicate that, potentially try and pull two at once.
There is Joral, the man, the myth, the Darkin, being able to, inflate those prices up for the spells. However, we'll just be stunned by the spider. Even a fearless, legendary Darkin can sometimes be scared of a small, or, well, in this case, big house spider. So, understandable, but being blocked here will be unfortunate, especially for the plan of, inflating the prices of Guga spells. But now Guga does get to play Kane here, goes for the riskier target, not going for the fan club president, but it does not matter because Disintegrate would have been the end of Kane either way. And now we are forced to play a spell shield if we want to keep him alive.
You do actually have two options here, and it's depending on how you read Guga. You could theoretically go for the Furious Wielder on the Sentry, although that would still lead to you being able to use Static Shock to trigger that Disintegrate. You'd prefer to have the mana to do both, but unfortunately it's not the situation you got put in. And
I mean,
no matter what...
Thanks to Static Shock, every choice that Senior makes will still end up with a dead Kane, right?
I believe you are correct. I started speaking, thinking, no, you can just get rid of the unit. But yeah, no. You are able to do one, but not the other, and yeah, tough situation to be in on Elder Senior's side.
Yeah, there's the Static Shock really just being like, oh, if you play Spell Shield, I'll just pop the Spell Shield. Oh, if you strike the unit, I'll just damage
Wait a second. Hold on.
Actually, striking would have been fine because the order would have been messed up. If we played the Furious Wielder, then Kane would have stayed alive.
Whoa! What an interaction! Kane gets recalled before Disintegrate triggers, keeping him alive? That's in the game? Whoa! Okay. Suddenly, this Doom situation has turned into an incredible situation for Elder Senior. I cannot believe that is in the game!
That does not seem legal. Because with Quick Attack, yes. Katarina, okay. Quick Attack, happens first. But this is a same time attack. This should not have happened, in my opinion, because they both strike each other. And, the Disintegrator is already on Kane at that point, so he should have gotten disintegrated, in my opinion. Elder Senior going for the miracle run here, I suppose, defeating all odds and logic, going for the Shadow Assassin as well, trying to get the Vayne tumble synergy going that you talked about earlier. For now, we have one tumble, we are lacking another Vayne, but yeah, I mean, I personally don't feel like that was not intended, not sure. But I definitely did not know about that interaction, and I don't blame Guga for not knowing either.
No, I feel like Elder Senior absolutely knew about that interaction. I feel like that was played almost too perfectly to know that. And it does make sense when I'm thinking about it a little more, that the spell would resolve after the card itself, because the card is doing the striking. And then after that, the Disintegrate then triggers. So it does kind of makes sense that Kane would recall first. It's just crazy to think about. And now I kind of feel like I'm watching a shonen anime protagonist in the form of this Kane running forward to fight the villain that is Seraphine Ezreal. What a crazy thing to have happen in this grand finals.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, I can get behind this. Is very shonen-esque, very big main character energy being irradiated right now from Elder Senior and his Kane. There's a second one to speak of. And this open attack just, wow, yeah, it's just swinging down on him. Having almost free reign here. I mean, yeah, we have another fan club president. We have a star shaping still, and that gramophone in the hand. So we can possibly conjure up some answers, but right now with Dural on the attack, those prices are inflated.
You're up, chum bucket.
And we shall remain, what do you say, patient to play our cards if we're Lazyguga. I still do hope that we could get to see Seraphine, but I mean, hey, if not, I guess I just don't get to sing.
Yeah, I mean, Kane is proving to be too strong of an anime protagonist for Seraphine to even show up in Lazyguga's hand. I mean, this is just a crazy situation. And now you're looking to Fan Club President and Song Spinner and Star Shaping to hopefully get you some crazy option to keep you in it. And I don't know if any of these are it. Double Up is good if it kills. Good for the Ezreal, but you need to be able to get him down safely first. And Kane is constantly going to be staring down that Ezreal, waiting for him to come down to try and, I don't know, you can use the champion spell on that. You can use Furious Wielder on that. There are many ways to make sure this Ezreal does not get to pop off. Bella's Breath, you don't have many weapons to really forge well. And the deal one around and round. Yes, it's all right, but it doesn't do anything to Dural and Kane. There's another one to be replayed, which kind of brings you to Dragon Ambush, which can maybe give you some extra health to stay in a little bit longer while you wait for that Seraphine and wait for that Ezreal. But you are running out of time if you are Lazyguga right now.
Yeah, for sure. Very nice analysis on all three choices here. And looks like the double up will be the play. Oh, the Ruthless Predator!
This is shonen luck. This is shonen protagonist luck. This is what we are witnessing right now.
Yeah, this is going wild right now. And the Ezreal, I mean, I'm not sure if he's even close to being leveled. Not sure how many spells he played. But Ezreal without Seraphine does not have that OTK potential. And yeah, it looks like we are just going to play the double up to try to get rid of Dural, but hey,
you can just deny that with a momentous choice.
Like again, momentous choice, no biggie, no cheese. Dural is fine. Dural is unhurt, and we even have a free what's the new card? The card that lets us draw a 5 attack unit or turn a unit into a 5 attack unit this turn. So, I mean, I don't think there's many things that we actually can draw in our deck, but we could potentially buff something up if it were to come that way. And yeah, I feel like Elder Senior just has every card that he needs to be able to protect his Nexus and his life. And now the Ezreal will probably perish fairly soon to a, as you said, either Kane Champion spell or Furious Wielder, or we wait and go for Ruthless Predator next turn. Anything can happen. And without Seraphine, the OTK potential is just not there.
Yeah, that new card, because as I've proven several times tonight, I know too much about this game, is referred to as Legionary Charge. But yeah, that's definitely a card that can just go, okay, you blocked these guys, but you left this one person over here unblocked. Cool, I'm just going to make them 5 power now. That's lethal. Shake my hand. And Ezreal is down on the board level. Decent situation most of the time, but right now, Lazyguga does not have anything to get this Ezreal going. You kind of have to rely on that Song Spinner and hope you find something. You can try and go for that Star Shaping to stall a little longer, but again, 2 options on the side of Elder Senior here. That Kane Champion spell or that Furious Wielder. Can't go for both. Don't have enough. You're 1 mana short of doing both, but you can go for one and start to threaten this Ezreal before he can try and get off.
Yes, and I mean, you're not... I feel like if you're Elder Senior, okay, no, we're just playing 1 spell here. not even going for that potential like pass, being like, hey, what do you want to do? I could just challenge you next turn, but we are trying to get rid of him now. The draws are coming through. We get the high note, we get the song spinner, and I think we may have to play a song spinner if we want to at least pray to find an answer. And yet that's what's going on. I wonder what kind of cards we get.
Inspiring Light and Answered Prayers, but those prayers are not going to be answered anymore. Captivating Creations, Make It Rain. Neither of those good options either. I guess Make It Rain for the targeting. An Ancestral Rune and Vile Feast. Yikes.
Ancestral Boon looking more like an Ancestral Goon right now, because that is not the card we need.
Vile Feast at least gets you the drain and the blocker, but I mean, it's just a bad situation for Lazyguga. I feel like you want to try and hit, something like that Disintegrate, so you could poke with your Make It Rain or your Vile Feast or whatever, but you already used that. That's not a new spell anymore. And there's just not any 2-cost spells that can get you what you need in terms of that situation. Gonna be going for the Make It Rain and the... I'm not sure what that other spell is. The Make It Rain at the very least, the Vile Feast as well. No, not the Vile Feast, but also going to go for the high note here. Just try and get as many triggers with Ezreal as you can before he goes away.
Yeah, but then in that case, I am a bit confused to why not just throw in that Vile Feast as well, because, it's free, and it could be, it's an extra 2 damage, right, for Ezreal. So I'm not sure why we're holding back. Kayn should still be alive right now, very comfortably. And with this Ezreal being gone, Kayn actually just has lethal next turn. If there were no Star Shaping, right? Star Shaping heals 5, I think, again.
Yes, it was reverted back to 5.
Ooh, but our cultist is actually just living here as well. Thanks to
it is not. The targeting was the other way around. I believe Elder Senior had it backwards and thought the 1 damage was going to the cultist when it was in fact going to Kayn instead.
Oh, I see. But yeah, now there's the Vile Feast coming through, which means thanks to the Star Shaping we are not dead next turn. But wait a minute, with the Ruthless Predator, Arcane will be dealing 12. No, Arcane actually has exact lethal thanks to the Ruthless Predator if we put that onto him. Unless we find extra healing or like a stun or something with the Song Spinner here. But for 2 mana, I think Guiding Touch is like the only hope we could potentially have. Because this Kayn is going to be hitting True and Vayne. If that's not enough with the Ruthless Predator, Vayne is just gonna, allow him to tumble into action yet again. And yeah.
That should be game right then and there. You were basically looking to find one of your 2 remaining flocks if you were Lazyguga. Elder Senior not even committing the Ruthless Predator yet. Obviously doesn't know about the Star Shaping, so doesn't need to. But now can do that in response to it. And yeah, perfect lethal. Kayn. What a unit. Shadow Assassin proving very strong in this game. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
We're just gonna go Tumble, I think. I think we just wanted to...
Wait, but that's so
weird, because now we can play the... Oh no, we don't have mana for Great Beyond.
Tumble still gets the lethal at the very least. I guess it's just a safer way of doing it.
Maybe. Detain...
Yeah, no, don't have mana... Oh no, wait, you do have mana for Detain. Uh-oh!
We do have mana for Detain.
Uh-oh. Suddenly, something's gone wrong.
Yeah, suddenly the game is not over just yet. There is a tumble coming through. We are seeing it in a different dimension than usually, where you tumbled the screen upside down here a bit. Spells still being in the stack, but actually for a different POV here. Yeah, and that means that Kayn currently is, well, inside of, wait, no, never mind. Kayn is currently captured by the fan club president, trying to convert, she's trying to convert him to a Seraphine fan, but now Ezreal comes through, and we also have the Great Beyond, so things could go very crazy here. I do hope at least that maybe the Invoke will soon disappear from our screen. But
Well,
no,
it
never
does
mind.
let us see Shatter or Prowling Projectile for the first bit of Song Spinner. Waking Sands and Swindle.
Swindle?
You
Zero mana
don't have
Swindle.
that Plunder yet, though, and I'm not sure. I mean, you could pull a Tumble, and that's maybe something. And then Salt and Stitches and Lamb's Bite. Yeah, not great choices. Shatter is the one thing that you could theoretically do, but all you need to do right now is Tumble here. And obviously, you're going to have to burn Ezreal as a blocker for that. And, well, you don't have any Ezreal units to deal with that. But instead, going to go with Geralt, try and increase the price of those spells while attacking. Smart choice, even though he is a more blockable unit.
Yeah, for sure. We are still fighting on the Swindle, also giving us, access to knowing the hand and also Ezreal damage.
Gonna go for the Ruthless Predator there too. That is a nice little burst spell to be able to use with the Ezreal, although you can't use it this turn. It's a strange situation we're in right now, where Guga theoretically just needs 1 or 2 top decks to maybe claw back into this game. But we're just not seeing it yet. And now I think the Shatter is going to come through. Probably, I mean, you know what the hand is, so I don't know. Like, yes, you can put that on the Kayn. I guess just to confirm that Ezreal can serve as a blocker next turn, but you know that the Ruthless Predator is in the hand, and you know that there are 2 Gerals in hand. So I'm not 100% sure why you Shatter Kayn here, I guess.
It doesn't matter what we shatter. I think we just wanted to shatter just for, extra Ezreal damage. So imagine we top deck a Bird Song Spinner into Ruthless Predator. We do get Seraphine, but it's over.
It's too little too late at this point, unfortunately.
Actually too little too late. We managed to capture 1 Kayn, but it is not enough. Kayn did not convert to the Seraphine fandom. He stays true to his favorites, and Ezreal Seraphine has been bested, the villain, by a honestly unbelievable amount of power being shown in form of a very surprising interaction with Kayn and Disintegrate. Elder Senior, the